What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul with Liberty Hill Comics. Watching episode 78, the greatest comic book conservation live show on the planet. Welcome. Hey, Phil's here, Shelby's here, Larry's going to join us soon. He was at a con today, and I'm psyched.
He was at A1 Comics.
It's the con that's thrown by A1 Comics. I don't know the name of the con, so I'm sure he'll update us when he gets in.
In fact, he's going to be doing a demo and stuff too. So
I'm riding high because I got to hang out with you guys last weekend.
Yeah, it's great to see you guys. Shelby, it was nice to meet you in person for the first time. Oh, very nice, very nice.
I got the vapors.
Very cool.
There's your bidding paddle for the charity auction at the Collector Summit. So if you're just joining us, welcome. Thank you. Introductions. I'm Dr. Paul. This is my channel. You know me. Shelby and I are co-authors of this book right here, Comic Book Conservation, the book on comic book conservation. Shelby brought a whole bunch of copies to the Collector Summit, sold almost all of them, met a bunch of great people, spent half the summit chatting people up about the book and inscribing and signing copies, and
signed a lot.
Chasing Matt Nelson down to sign the forward page, which was fun.
Oh, nice.
We're going to get into that and more, but thank you for joining us. This is our Collector Summit kind of wrap-up show, catch-up show. We're going to be showing off pickups. We're going to be talking about how we were looking for candidates for conservation while we were there and what you might look for, tips and tricks if you're shopping for old paper and what things lend themselves to conservation. But before we get into that, Phil, say hi to the people. Tell us how your week was.
Hey, everyone. Phil coming to you live from the border of Brooklyn and Queens here in New York City. And in a transition period, as you can see by my name, I am now Phantom Comic Studios. The old website link still...
Wait, you were supposed to give me a chance to do this.
Oh, well, thanks.
Oh, we could have done this before you revealed it.
Oh, well, maybe.
All right.
I mean, it's a little late. If you've been paying attention on Instagram, it was subtle, but I changed the name there here. But I still have a few loose ends to tie up, including getting the URL finalized and everything. But yeah, long time coming, but wanted to do it for a few years. It's
awesome.
In some ways, it's fine because I actually have had some recent clients that found me by searching comic book restoration because, to people that aren't aware in our niche, that might be a word that they would use. But to us that know, within this niche, that word's actually kind of stigmatized. So I do know that there are some people who may use me for services, but see restoration and say, oh, no, I don't need that. But the reality is I actually don't do very much restoration, mostly restoration removal and high-end cleaning and pressing and conservation, a lot of conservation. So that said,
congrats. Yes.
This means it's Sunday at 8:35 means it's time to talk comics and hang out. And, although I'm always drowning in comics, I also like to enjoy and talk about comics as a hobby as well as my job. So nice to see you guys here. Nice to see you guys last week. We're
going to have a great show. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about your pickups. And it looks like somebody just message him and make sure he's ready to go live. Larry, if you can hear us, you're ready to go live. Okay, you're coming to stage, buddy.
Hey, guys.
Hey, great to see you. We're just saying hi to everybody, telling them what the show's gonna be about today.
Excellent.
Shelby was about to tell us hi, where people can find him and how his week went, and then you can go, and then I'll wrap up, or I will jump into a few more housekeeping things, and then we'll jump into the show proper. Shelby,
sounds great.
Welcome. Glad to have you here. It's great to see you last weekend, man.
It was second time you and I had met. It was really great to meet Phil and Larry in person, and to smell you and feel you and all that good stuff.
hygiene.
I don't know about the feeling part. That was
Everybody
Larry-
here has good hygiene, by the way, people.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, Larry's a little bit standoffish. Phil, though,
that's not true. We're all
Phil
huggers.
loves to hug.
We're all huggers. So
So,
as long as you have good hygiene, we're huggers.
yeah. And I did. I showered that day and I put on.
You did. Yeah, I can verify
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
But no, it was a great show. If you want to see some videos, go over to my Chan Shelby's Comics here on YouTube. You'll see a big couch discussion between the four of us talking about the show from the preview night. The day of the show on Sunday was very hectic. My dogs were barking afterwards. I didn't even get a chance to eat. We did sell a lot of books, which I was really happy for. I had an idea in my head of how many books, would be deemed successful to sell, and we went past that a little bit. Did a lot of signatures, a lot of talking, a lot of discussion of conservation, and of course, like Phil kind of alluded to, people have these misconceptions between restoration, preservation, and conservation, and it's really great to educate people. And we got a lot of great response and feedback, of course, by which is shown through
No, that's not true. There were no cheap books there.
Stay away. There's
even
no-
the old dirty stuff was expensive.
There were some good pickups.
There was
I
some
just
good
want to say
pickup.
that now, but I'd wait for. We can do Larry's intro first and then get to questions. But
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, thank you. Shout out to Matt Nelson for being complimentary. And even I got Phil and Larry involved. I got them to sign some of their sections in the book. So
That was
people
fun.
got, what would that be? 5 times signed? I don't know what
5X,
that is.
yeah.
It's
That just makes it more valuable.
Pentautographed. They were
pentautographed.
Mm.
So that was fun. But what Paul and I have always said is this book would not have been possible without these two guys, without this channel, without this forum, without the Facebook page, without all of you that are out there and that support us and allow us to use some of your images and things like that. And ultimately, the idea came from y'all, the community, that this was something that was needed. And, we are just vessels for that. And, anything that, comes out with this is due to every one of y'all. And we really appreciate y'all and are humbled by everything that
Absolutely.
comes from this. So
We could chat about that more. Let's do Larry. Hey, how are you?
I'm
Welcome.
doing good. Hey, I just I just came back from actually doing my first comic show in like 40 years.
Yeah.
And it was an experience. I was hosted by A1 Comics in Sacramento, Brian Peets.
Nice.
He's the founder of the River City Pedigree. There was San Francisco Pedigree was also present. It was actually a surprisingly big show in my hometown here. I set up I had 2 tables, and I did wet cleaning and tear seals publicly. And it was
fun.
it was a bit of an adventure. I had 2 heat presses going, display, and a TV with a looped video that you guys saw earlier, and describing what conservation is, and to what Shelby was saying, that I had lots of questions on conservation versus restoration, what it was.
Sure.
So, and I did this all while wet cleaning today, and a lot of people had lots of questions. I had the book on display, your guys' book that we were just talking about. I made flyers. I had a lot of people take the flyers, and I think it was a very successful show. We had a lot of questions. Of course, I had a lot of people asking me to do the work for them, which I referred to Phil. So hopefully Phil gets some business out of it.
Yeah.
And no, it was great. It was a fantastic show. I sold some of my books.
Nice.
So it was very productive. Brian Peets was just
Awesome.
fantastic, and it was a good time.
That's
So
great.
I'm still got my Captain Larry shirt on,
Yeah.
you know.
So you did
And,
you did back-to-back cons the last 2 weekends. That's great.
Yeah, we did. Pretty much, I did. But this
And
was
then
this is the first time I've actually set up at a
Set up.
show.
yeah,
It's
and then raced home to join us.
Yeah, literally.
Awesome.
Yeah, I hit McDonald's and left it all downstairs. So I'm not eating in front of you, but after we're done here, I'm gonna go eat.
All right. Well, I'm going to take care of some housekeeping. Thank our sponsors. I'm going to take the prerogative of my first pass on my review of Collector Summit, and then of course I'll let everybody else chime in with their take. So let's get started with that. We don't have a traditional A segment like we normally do because we're going to do roundtable pickups and impressions of the show.
Oh.
So, sponsoring this show, round of applause, please, for Salesboy Comics, Archivist Adrift, Don Carter, Gorilla Monkey 3K, and Collecting Chaos. They are your sponsors. If you're watching this show live, you're watching it ad-free thanks to those gentlemen. Thank them. Go check out their channels, and we really do appreciate it. Next up, let's say hi to all the folks. We got a good crowd already. Morris Devereaux's here. Says, welcome back from the summit. You plucked my last nerve is here. Jeff Goodsell's here. AG is here. AG with the super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Collecting Chaos is here. Salesboy Comics is here. Welcome. Collecting Chaos is here. Says, what's that? Shelby's here, of course. Professor Experiments in Conservation, the Professor Peter Alachi's here. Welcome, Don Carter. My neighbor, Phil Criminale. Welcome, Phil. Rom Space Knight, Mike, what's up? Silver Spidey's here. The professor says, congrats on the new company name, Phil. Lulu's here. JCP is here. And Morris says, great videos of Collector Summit on Shelby's channel. Salesboy with the super chat. Thank you so much. And G. Skavorik is here. Welcome, welcome. Archivist Adrift, I may have already said. Collecting Chaos, thank you so much. The super chat.
Nice.
He really does hate watching the ads. He's always our backstop for sponsorship.
We've been ad free for quite some time because
We have. Oh yeah, it's been.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a year. We've had so much support and really appreciate it.
Yeah, very much appreciate it.
So with that, I'm going to give my summary real quick. Don Carter, thank you so much. Man, they're just flowing in the love tonight. I had a great time at the summit. This was my third summit. It was the first time Shelby attended. It was the first time several of my friends attended. Bill Field, who's been a dear friend of mine for years now, it was his first time being there. It was the first time I saw Ivan Briggs there. Unbothered Kitty, friend of the channel, Kat, she was there. That was her first time at Summit.
Nice, yeah. It was good to see her.
It was great to see everybody. And I have to say, upon reflection, the most gratifying part of the show for me was introducing some of my friends in the comic community who I've known for years to some of my other friends in the comic community who I've also known for years but didn't know one another. And then seeing them become friends was just really gratifying and actually my favorite part of the show. So I had a great time. Of course, Matt Nelson was there, generous with his time as always. And all of the dealers, of course, you know, Reese's and Worldwide and Bedrock and Lone Star and Buzzard Brothers and Red Hood and Stray Flexen, and I'm sure I missed some.
Lee.
Harley Yee, many other dealers. I went up early and I did some bird watching, some nature photography, but I went up early mostly because I had an appointment with Lone Star to drop off some consignment materials. So some of my books will be for sale there, including a few books that I conserved on the channel. So
Nice.
if anybody's interested in owning a Dr. Paul worked upon book, those will be going up on Lone Star soon. The other thing that for me was really gratifying was just getting some personal time with Matt Nelson. He is a very busy man, but he also, I think one of the consequences of being gracious and generous with your time is you have time for everybody, which means you don't have very much time for anybody. And I was able to get his full attention, and he advised me on a few books and took a look at my work, and I really appreciated that. And yeah, so overall, I had a great show. I had some pickups. There's just one that I'm going to talk about today, but it was brought to me by my pal, who was also a dealer, Jeff Itkin of the Golden Age Guru. And these guys can tell you, I was over the moon at getting this book. And I actually put together a little slide segment just to try to convey how I felt about getting a copy of this book and why it's so important to me. Because honestly, it's sort of difficult to put into words. So I'm sure I'm missing a lot of what happened and what there was to talk about. But that's my sort of top level impression of the show. Thank you so much, Vulu, for the super chat. As I said, we're so appreciative and we have so much love on the channel. I really appreciate it. With that, I will sort of turn it over to you guys, and then why don't we do impressions, and then we can do pickups. So you guys can go around, do impressions. We can do some back and forth, and then I'll kick off pickups, and then we can go around the horn with pickups. Yeah, Suspense 3. Oh, before I do that though, one other person I want to mention that I had a great time meeting in person and then introducing to the rest of the crew, and that's Keston of Keston's Old School Comics. I've been a fan of his channel for quite a while. Really enjoy his content. And I told him this, and I know you guys have heard the story, but I just, for the listeners of the channel here, multiple times I've had an idea for some content, a video where I'm like, oh, we need a video about this, and I have something to say. And then over the course of doing research and writing a little script and pulling together my thoughts, I'll just look and see who else has something out there. Multiple times I've looked and Keston's got a video on it. I watch his video and I go, I don't have anything to add to this. It's already complete. It already says what I was going to say as well or better. And he's also funnier and a better video editor. So, okay, I'm done here. But it was great to meet him. He's a great collector, great person in the community. And then getting to introduce him to all of you and some of our other friends was a lot of fun. So that's my initial impressions anyway. Who wants to go next?
Let's go counterclockwise. So Larry, you got to go next.
Tell you what, okay. So it was really great, and I agree with you. Spending one-on-one time with Matt Nelson. I mean, I can't think of a more gracious individual in this business. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, if you're a mega millionaire or just a regular guy, and he will take the time and answer your questions. And I picked up some books there, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, and I had the opportunity to say, hey Matt, can you take a look at these and tell me what you think? And he looked at him. He had his little spectacle, and he looked at things very closely. And he told me, yay, no, crack it, don't crack it. This is what this would grade out as. If you fix this, this is going to be just tops, and it was just little impressions like that.
Yeah.
And then the one of the funny thing I thought about my impressions is, you know, we've all been to comic book shows before, and everybody's got their boxes up on the table, their dollar boxes, whatever boxes in front, and people are rifling through them like crazy. To put this in perspective, um, Buzzard Brothers, perfect example. You walk up to any one of their boxes, you'll just go start pulling books out. $1,200, $800, $1,600. We're just flipping through it. They're in the Mylars or whatever. There weren't $50 books in there. These books were like 4-figure books. It was just
my impression is the dollar bins start around $250, right? Like
that would be a good setup. I would say about
entry level books at this show. But to be fair, it's almost all golden age stuff. I mean, there's some silver age keys, there's some high end, stuff from later. There are even a few modern books there, big keys, like Albedo 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1, that kind of stuff. Caliber, that sort of stuff. But
this is mostly dealer to dealer, and they all know each other.
Oh yeah,
and it's just like they go around and joke with each other, but these guys are dealing with some big books. We sat there and looked at Bedrock, and Paul, you and I both sat there and looked at this stuff, and it was just. Goodness. I mean,
I had to take a book off his wall just to hold it.
Yeah, that's the type of thing we're talking about.
Will you take a picture of me holding this book? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. We saw just sitting there, Tales of Suspense 39, 9.4. Where are you going to see that in person? And I can't remember. There was another one. It was a 9.8. There's big ones on that wall.
There's an Avengers 498. That's just like you're like, okay.
I mean, and of course we got to see the Superman #1 in person. That was. I
was going to let one of you guys talk about all the treasures at Heritage. I think
it was just.
I don't know, whoever wants to talk about those.
There is a video. There is a video
that you guys talk about. But speaking of Richard from Bedrock Comics and his collection / inventory, More Fun 55 9.2. Yeah. Two better in the world. I think there's a 9.4 and a 9.6 if I'm not mistaken. But I asked him if I could hold the 9.2 just because.
Well, on that wall, there were several books that were the highest graded.
I'm sure
ever on that wall. I mean, there was none higher, and it was kind of mind-boggling, actually. Yeah.
And Richard actually tries to get highest grade of some things just to kind of show off and stuff like that. Like his personal collection of Marvel Mystery Comics is, I think he's now working on getting everything above a 9.6. Like he started out at 9.2, then he moved to 9.4, then 9.6, and it's amazing. He got a whole run of Fantastic Four from #1 to 100 in 9.2 and above one time, just because he wanted to. So,
we're collectors. Amazing. He's a collector at heart.
He is.
About Richard, man.
He is.
Larry, anything else you want to say at this moment?
Let's see. What else did I see? We saw some great art. The Frazetta artwork was just wow.
Being in the presence of some Frazetta in person.
That's the thing. It was actually being in the presence. We took the Heritage Auction House tour. Some stuff we could take pictures of, some stuff we couldn't. Mm-hmm. It's not just comics, people. I mean, there's art, furniture, watches, money, things like that. There's billions of dollars in this massive warehouse. I don't know how big that place is. We walked through the back halls of the warehouse, and it's just, I'm looking at picture frames of paintings and things like that. And we saw the Mickey Mantle rookie card. I mean, I thought that was just cool. We saw the arm
52. Yep.
Yeah, we saw the mechanical arm from Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm.
That was just kind of cool. You
Yep.
know, it was just there's things we saw the Val Kilmer's Batman cape. You know
Mhm.
that there was just these are things you're not going to see.
They wouldn't
Uh,
let us wear it, but
no, no, no. Then
I
there was
I held the highest known copy in the world of the first appearance of Conan. It's a pulp that has the very first short story by Robert E. Howard, and it's a pedigree copy, and it's graded an 8.5, and it's over
and
100 years old.
Here's a copy that's not that one, but it's still.
There
the
you
book you're
go.
talking about.
yeah, that's it.
This exact
Small world, huh?
issue of Weird Tales, yeah.
So the curator of that pedigree Pope collection was there,
He was, yeah.
and we got to speak to him. He's a doctor, very nice guy.
He's
His
a
name,
physician.
yeah, my name is his name escapes me, but very pleasant to talk to. Very talked about how he curated his collection, how he formulated. But these books, I mean, we saw some stuff there that would just and for you all you Jaws fans, the orca sign off the back of the boat. Part of it was there, you know, where the shark bit it off. But it was just cool stuff, man. It was I had a really great time. Of course, seeing all you guys there, meeting Shelby in person, that was great. And it was just an awesome time. I look forward to this every year. You
Yeah.
know. I
It's
really do.
definitely the highlight. It's a great way to wrap up the year for me.
It is. That's the end of the year wrap up, and to see the Superman #1 that's going to be auctioned off here in 3 days. It's I just I can't imagine what it's going to be like. But being in the presence of so much history and gold, I mean, it was just mind boggling.
Absolutely. Shelby.
I'm not sure if I have a whole lot more to add. But a lot of these things that y'all were just talking about, please go over to my channel, Shelby's Comics, here on YouTube. I dropped 2 videos. One is the 4 of us in there talking, and I'm showing some of those books, and you'll actually see the guy who curated the pulp collection there, putting one of the books back. But yeah, please go leave a comment, like, sub if you haven't to my channel. But there's 2 videos, and then one is just like a 3 or 4 minute video of me kind of taking images of some video of all the dealers and the stuff that they had set up. So definitely some good nerdgasm material.
Oh yeah.
Did you get the showcase with the Superman 1 9.0?
Oh yeah. It's in both videos. The shorter video, I have a longer slide through of it, but yeah, it and actually really nice, high quality. So
Super. Yeah. I mean, go check that out. We were inside Heritage. I should say, Nate did a great job hosting, as always. Heritage Comics did a great job hosting, as always. Thanks to both of them. Thanks especially to the Heritage workers who worked a really long day Sunday.
Yeah.
Just great people all around, making sure that we had a wonderful event. Heritage was previewing the top items from their upcoming auction, which included the book that is expected to break all-time records, which is the now highest graded Superman 1 in the world, Superman 1 9.0.
To catch everybody up, it's currently at 4,860,000 with buyer premium.
Yeah. So not yet the most expensive in the world, but will almost certainly hammer at a new record.
I think the tag in the display case there said estimated 6 to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it will break the record because somebody bidding on it wants it to break the record.
Yeah. I think it's going to break the record, and what I really hope that it brings out is like A Batman 1 9.6.
Well,
It's something nutty, something that like then just kind of continues to push the envelope.
Well, what I want to know too is this was just one of the books out of that attic find. There's
Mm.
other books. There's I
Yeah.
know there's a Tech 29 and a Tech 31 in there. And
Yeah.
what do they look like?
Yeah. You know, speaking of high-end, high-graded copies of Superman 1, Darren of Selling Superman was in the house. He was carrying almost like a briefcase that was,
Yep.
it looked like
Yeah.
it could have been handcuffed to his arm, to
Yeah.
his wrist, you know?
Should have been,
Uh,
yeah.
He was carrying around his copy of Superman 1, which if you haven't seen Selling Superman, go check it out. Amazing award-winning director on that film. It's a 7.0. He had a meeting with Matt and they're talking about cracking it and
Oof.
working it and seeing if they can't get a bump out of it. So
Ooh.
stay tuned on that.
Wow.
That was great. Thank you so much. You plucked my last nerve for the super chat. Yeah, we all think it's going to break the record.
Yeah. But yeah, so seeing the comics, I mean, of course you have a limited budget you can spend. You know, we're not like Paul and, you know, have those tens of
I
thousands.
sell a lot too, by the way.
have those
I'm a
tens
good
of
net
thousands,
seller.
uh,
Up.
you know, but you know, I did, it was great to see some of the books and a lot of it was really, there's just the talking to the people, really getting to meet Phil, getting to meet Larry and, you know, hanging out with Paul, of course, getting to promote our hobby, meaning conservation, not collecting, and promote the book and stuff. You know, in Small World too, like Bill that Paul mentioned, the guy he works for that owns a store in San Antonio, he used to buy books from me at my store in 1987. I opened one of the first comic stores in Louisiana in 1987. And as a 15-year-old kid, his boss used to come and buy comic books from me, and baseball cards.
Affirmative, Jason.
Yeah. So that was neat. And then
It's, by the way, that's Phil Nelson, I believe. The comic shop in
Phil
San
Nelson,
Antonio
yep.
is Nelco's,
Nelco.
managed by the aforementioned Bill Field, who
Yeah.
himself is a luminary, co-founded the Comic Book Historians podcast.
Yes.
Groundbreaker in our community.
Yeah. And
he's also had a he's had a panel at San Diego Comic-Con for like 15 years now. I mean,
Yeah.
really, yeah,
Oh,
it was
wow.
just great to see these guys there.
Yeah, and his buddy Alex that works for him. A couple other interesting things. I was a guy who actually, and I had several people come to us that support us on Kickstarter.
Sure.
And say, hey, I support you on Kickstarter. One guy that came up that supported us on Kickstarter lives in Boston and actually teaches at Boston University. But it turns out we're both, again, from Monroe, Louisiana. He
Oh,
grew
wow.
up there.
Something in the water.
Yeah, he grew up there, and we graduated from the same high school. I graduated in 87. He graduated in 95, so I'm a couple years older than him. But it was great, just as small world, you know, that we both came from the same hometown. He, you know, we met through the book that he supported on Kickstarter, and it's just really cool. And him and I sat and talked for a while.
Well, you're able to speak in your native language.
Hey guys, we got a couple of comments I want to get to. Morris, I don't know the answer here. It may have been worked on. Maybe it was worked on, but it was worked on and some meat was left on the bone.
We can address that. Is it's actually up to the owner if they want it worked on.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
CGC is not just going to
hey, let's work on it. No, it doesn't work.
If the book is submitted for grading, the CGC isn't going to reach out and say, "Hey, actually, you know, we should do." I mean, I can understand why they would want to. But that's not how it works.
Those of you that know Darren or know the story behind this 7.0, If you haven't seen the documentary Selling Superman, again, go check it out. Darren himself did not. His father was the rabid collector. He
Right.
inherited this book.
Yeah.
He's interested, and he's now curating the collection. But at the time of the inheritance, he was not, and nor is he now, a full-time or even a had not spent a lifetime of collecting and curating the collection. He may have had somebody work on it locally, and perhaps now someone's looked at it and said, the work was fine, but there's a little bit of meat left on the bone.
And in the documentary, I think there's him taking it to CGC. Why it wasn't suggested he worked on, who knows?
There's cost.
Did you guys?
Yeah,
of course.
there's
Did you
some
guys
cost.
look? Did you guys look closely enough? Ben Stewart wants to know if we thought the Super
Oh, yeah.
190 looks like a 90.
I
I
looked
know.
at it very
There are
closely.
great videos on my channel. Go watch. That's all
People
I'm gonna
go
say.
to Shelby's channel, watch his videos,
Oh my
please.
God, it's
So
in freaking.
please,
Whoever's loudest
Please-
wins, I
please
guess.
go to Shelby's channel.
You can
I-
freeze frame it and zoom in.
I will say that I only looked at it casually. From what I saw, it looked essentially flawless.
It's amazing.
So-
Yeah.
There's scans. There's high res scans on Heritage. That's the
Sure.
easiest
And
way to
that
really
too,
look.
there are
It
high-res-
is a beautiful book.
It was definitely a beautiful copy.
Can I just add one thing to that, though? I think that's not the first kind of question about the grade on that book that I've heard mentioned, and I think that the main reason,
the 90 or are we still
on the 90, on the 90,
Yeah. Mhm.
I think it's because, especially during a period of time in the last couple of years where CGC has proven to be incredibly tough on stains, I think some people see what looks like a stain in the top left of the 90 and they're like, huh. And it's not to say that the book isn't otherwise perfect and that's the only flaw. And that's the kind of the determination I came to, where it is like, even if the stain's present, to me the book really looked flawless otherwise.
Yeah, I know.
It's, I think it's a fair grade, but I can understand why certain defects jump out at us and make it kind of appear like a red flag. I can see
Sure.
that.
Yeah, I remember Richard and I talking about that book when it was being graded a couple of years ago or a year ago or so, and people thought it was going to be a 9.2. So I think there was, some discussion of it making a 9.0. But anyway, I digress on that story.
Lenny,
one-
wonderful.
Lenny.
Wonderful to meet you. Lenny of Spineworks. I tried to get him to adjust my back. He refused. Apparently, he is not a licensed chiropractor. If I understand,
meeting you, Lenny.
it was great to meet you. If I understand the business correctly, he's a CGC facilitator, so really specializing in getting books signed and getting them authenticated and slabbed by CGC. If you need help with that,
Yeah.
I'm sure they do other things as well. But if you need help with that, I would highly recommend him. I had a great conversation with him. I know you did as well, Larry.
Yeah, we all did.
And
Lenny-
speaking of
Lenny's great.
signatures, I guess another thing we should mention, Charles Vess was supposed to be there. Boris Vallejo and Julie Bell were supposed to be there. None of them were there. And I was sad. I know a lot of people were sad. I was sad for Larry because we had all worked to curate just choice pieces for them to sign. And Larry and Shelby did phenomenal jobs and were disappointed because they weren't there. My understanding was Boris was sick and that Charles Vess had trouble with travel. Of course, we were traveling during the government-mandated restriction in flights domestically because of the shutdown and the shortage in air traffic control. So there were definitely cancellations, and I guess that kept Charles Vess from the show, from what I understand. Why don't you guys talk about the pieces you curated? Because I was just like, hats off.
I acquired from Heritage an original Barbarella movie poster, full size, and Boris Vallejo did that. And I
Guys,
fought for the. I
guys
fought
and
for it.
gals, it was. Oh, I was just like, Larry, you did it, man. You
It was
curated
terrible,
perfect.
It was-
You curated the perfect piece for a
You did.
Boris Vallejo signature.
and I don't know where I'll ever catch him again.
Yeah.
So
He doesn't do cons or anything that I know of. Yeah, I had brought my Star Wars posters that were hanging in McDonald's or Burger King, whichever it was, that in the 70s, whenever he did the posters for some of the glasses. Yeah. So
And the Marvel graphic novel.
the Marvel graphic novel I had hunted up that I saw that Best had done. You brought the annual, and I even bought a print of Spider-Man that he had done to take. But whenever I got it, it was already signed and numbered. And I'm like, okay, never
Well,
mind.
I brought a couple copies of Web Spider-Man 1, which of course Charles Best printed the cover of. In fact,
with him on the
Phil, who's here in the chat, I brought his copy as well. Unfortunately, we didn't get those signed, but I thought I had picked the Marvel graphic novel that Charles Vest painted. I had like really a cherry copy. I was really proud of it. I was showing it off.
mine
And then
too.
Shelby was like, well, yours has the plastic off of it though. He still had sealed. I was, how do you beat that?
I'd slice the side open though, so peel it back and sign it. Anyway, my one last story was before the Sunday, I was standing outside and just so happened to be talking to this guy, and we just like, hey, is there anything you're looking for? Blah, blah, blah. This person, DC collector through and through, and he collects nothing but first appearances. And so he's like, yeah, I'm looking for first Lois Lane number 1. And I know it's not her first appearance. She already has her first appearance in like an action. But Lois Lane number 1, which I agree, that's on my bucket list too. And first Crypto. And I bumped into him inside, and he was like, well, why didn't you tell me you wrote a book? And I'm like, well, I don't like to just, feel like I'm hawking my book to anybody I meet on the sidewalk. But yeah, he had purchased both of those, and I'm telling you that Lois Lane was like a 9.0, and it was fucking incredible.
you can't say that on YouTube.
Yes,
Nice. Yeah, well done.
if you've ever seen Lois Lane number 1, it's like her as a witch on a broom. It is freaking incredible cover. It is amazing, and to see one, and it was slabbed and stuff, but then he started pulling out his phone and showing me his collection, and I'm telling you, most of it's raw, and an incredible Wonder Woman number 1 that he has. It's a lower grade, but yeah, I introduced him to Phil about probably doing some work on it and stuff, because he's giving it to his niece for her to keep as an investment.
Cool.
And this thing is it's incredible. It's incredible.
Awesome.
A freaking Wonder Woman number 1. I just
Wow.
I know.
Phil.
Paul should adopt me and then give me books for investment.
He's older than I am, folks. Phil,
Better.
you
I'm from Louisiana. That don't matter.
get to give us your wrap up.
So,
And then, by the way, that's not wrap up for the show. We're going to go on to pickups, but
yeah.
just of impressions. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think like you, Dr. Paul, this was my 3rd show.
Mhm.
And like Larry said too, this is just the one of many. Like I'm definitely gonna be planning to go every year. Like this is something, at least for me. There's a couple other people that go that like offer services, but I even mentioned to some people I view that as a secondary benefit to going, because no other time can you go to a place with dedicated collectors, passionate collectors, and be standing and be like, there's a Batman one here, there's another one over there, there's one over there, there's someone in the case over there. I mean, it really is. It's a serious embarrassment of riches of the hobby. It's one of the only times you can ever be in a hyper focused collector room and atmosphere like that, where like last year one of the collectors had a prearranged deal for a Batman one. It's not normal stuff, and just to you could talk to the guy and he's like, oh yeah, here, you could take a look at it, and you could just look at the Batman one. So it's such a cool thing as someone that loves comics, and I've been collecting books. It's such like a full circle. I remember going and working at for Midtown Comics when I first moved to New York City, and I was the guy at the hat rack, like grabbing the hats for people. And then they gave me some downtime at the con, and I went up to what would become my new employer for a couple of years, Comic Connect in Metropolis. And that was the first time I was looking in a case and seeing some of these books that just last weekend I could just pick up and look at myself. Like, it's such a, it's a pretty cool environment to be in if you're a really hardcore collector. And as we mentioned earlier too, I suppose cheap is relative, but all the books aren't $10,000. If your budget allows for it, Larry picked up quite a few books that
we're going to show some great pickups.
Anyone that had the money would have easily snatched these books without even a hesitation.
There were some amazing pickups under $300 in the room, for sure.
There's also the secondary. There's the secondary benefit too, and it's been discussed. But being able to go up to the case or take a selfie with that Superman one, regardless of if it is technically a 9, whatever the grade is, it's a crazy copy of a book that you never get to, like, the person that buys that book will get to own that and keep it in a vault, and gets to see that again, maybe. So getting to see that for a moment is something that's a kind of a cool thing in and of itself, aside from all the other books that were, it's easy to get jaded by. And then it's just some shout outs. I like going every year because I remember last year I was talking with people who I had seen the previous year but never got to have that conversation. And the same thing this year. And then also there's a slight rotation of new faces that don't get to come if the tickets get sold out or what have you, or they're just going for their first time. So this year, seeing Bill Field there, and this was his first time, getting to talk to him was awesome. Alex, I think that works with him, was there last year. Nice to see him again. Bill had, I was talking to Bill, and he was seemed like such a chill, down to earth guy, but then he's just pulling out books from his bag, and it's like an FF1 and AF Amazing Spider-Man one raw that looked virtually perfect. Like, I remember on one of them I looked and I was like, I don't even see any defects on the front cover, and you're just like, that's the kind of room that you're in.
Bill is anti-slab.
That collection that he was carrying around, it was a one-owner collection. And all of these were keys. That got
crazy
big runs, but the person bought them, read them, then stuck them in a manila envelope, and then filed them away like that. And the books were freaking incredible.
He's already sold the AF-15.
He sold the AF-15.
One of the books that I wanted out of the collection actually was the House of Secrets 92, but there were a couple people that had dibs before I did. Bill and I are close friends, but he's got friends going back 20 years and some of them had one of them ended up with that book. But yeah, it's beautiful. It was a beautiful collection, and he's still working through it. And his big interest now is international comics.
Yeah, he was showing quite a few.
He's got a bunch
of
UK. One type, international
Marvel that I'd never seen before. They were landscape books, and really thin, and not glossy cover. They were paper cover and stuff.
Yeah. Just a few last mentions. So, and he was in the chat, Lenny. It was nice to meet and chat with Lenny from Spineworks. Also, it was nice to. It's funny, just as Paul was talking him up, Keston walked by and then ended up talking with Keston for like 10, maybe 15 minutes. And that's someone else that I definitely want to start looking at his channel, looking at his content. And then finally, too, Ivan Briggs. Is that his last name?
Yeah.
He was someone else.
Yeah.
I was like, I've seen your face just on my computer because I know you're
Yeah.
involved and chatting
What's
with
his
him.
first time at the summit?
Another
Great guy.
really nice guy, really knowledgeable guy who was talking about sourcing period photos of like kids at newsstands with comics in the background, which
That's
is like
his big thing. Yeah, yeah.
it's
Bill
just-
introduced me to him a few years back.
oh nice. It's I was talking briefly with him about how my mentor donated his curated collection of every comic that was on newsstands in April 1956 to RIT, where we went to school, and now a curriculum is being taught around that collection because
Oh, really? Wow.
we're in this awesome period of time now where comics are being kind of given their due, and it's being studied in some ways like film, literature, and poetry and what have you. I mean, we're in the early incarnation of it, but even seeing that, it's like that's so hearing him talk about like the sourcing of the photos and stuff, it's just the history involved with our hobby. It's cool hearing about that stuff.
I'll just say now, apologies to anybody we didn't mention who was awesome in there. There was just too much going on, and So with that, I'm gonna jump into one of my pickups, and you all will forgive me for fanboying so deep on this.
Nice.
This is the pickup that I was just over the moon about, that I mentioned that I got from Jeff Itkin, the Golden Age guru. Obviously a raw book. This is Victory Comics #1, and it's got The Conqueror by Bill Everett choking out a Nazi on the cover in a war-torn Europe. And just like Cap 1, this predates America's involvement in World War II. So for those that don't know, Hillman Comics is a American company. I think their best known work is definitely Airboy, but they've had The Heap and other creations that you would have heard of. Victory Comics #1 hit the newsstands May of 41. It's cover dated August of 41, but predates our involvement in the war. The entire book is dedicated to the war effort in Europe and is a social commentary on the evils of Nazism and fascism. And it's freaking amazing. It's a very rare book. 30 copies universal, 10 restored in the CGC census, median grade of 5.0. There are a couple of high grade copies out there, including apparently a 9.8.
Wow.
That mile high copy.
Yeah, there's a
Gotta be,
7.
yeah.
There's a couple of 7.0s, one of which changed hands in the last year. There's one 8.0 and then the one 9.8. But just a super rare book. Why do I care about it? You'll see in a moment. But love this cover. Again, only 30 copies universal, so only one sold in the last 12 months. This is one of those 5 7.0s in the census, sold at Heritage October for $33.60. After taxes and shipping, you're paying about $500 a point for this book, with price compression at the lower end. Entry level copies are going to set you back $1,000 or more, and that's sort of that's table stakes when you're playing in this realm where you're talking about these Golden Age books, pre-war books that are, fewer than 50 in the census. And especially one with a Everett cover, with such a stunning war cover with Nazis being choked out on the cover, man. Come on. Oh, love this book. Why do I love this book? This book is why I love that other book. You guys have heard me guys and gals have heard me talk about this before. The Golden Age of Comic Books by Richard O'Brien. Interestingly, Richard O'Brien, so this was published in 77, I believe. I acquired a copy in the mid 80s as a young collector, hungry for knowledge. and I flipped through my copy until it just literally fell apart. And this is a second copy that I bought a little later in life. You'll see the cover image is Action 52, which Captain Larry worked on last year, conserved a copy of. Richard O'Brien considered the Golden Age from 37 to 45, basically considered the end of the era to be the end of World War II. I think there aren't that many people that hold that belief today, but there's still plenty that say it ended maybe in 48 with the last issue of All-Star. There's definitely a movement, especially among scholars in this area, that considers the period from at least 48 to 56, if not 45 to 56, to be not the Golden Age, to be the Atomic Age. Again, some people say it's, late Golden Age. I tend to be in this camp where that period from 48 to 56 is probably best called the Atomic Age. It's definitely different culturally. The material is different. The comics are different. It's just not the same as the pre-war and the war era books. But the great thing, if you don't own a copy of this and you're interested in Golden Age books, I urge you to go get a copy. You can buy used copies very cheaply. It was...
Yeah, I bought mine for $5.
Yeah, you can find them on eBay for $5 after shipping and taxes. You got it home for about 10, if you don't mind one with a little wear and tear on it. It's just amazing because it has 40 color plates. These are the 40 color plates. So it starts with Tech 1, anyone? Action 7, Action 52, Tech 29, Tech 31, just all these amazing covers. It's focused on really, it's cover focused because these are 40 color plates of the covers. They are life size or perhaps even just slightly greater than life size. They're printed on slick, glossy, one per page. So the opposite side is blank so that you don't have any color bleed through. And it's a curated list of some of the most amazing pre-war and war era Golden Age covers ever produced. It's Planet One is here. I don't know if any of these books, maybe Action 52 has 100 copies in the census, but my sense is that book notwithstanding, I don't believe any of these books have even 50 copies in the census. There are at least a few that have fewer than 10 copies in the census. I mean, this is just a murderer's row of insane Golden Age books. And plate number 35 is Victory Comics #1. So I've been staring at this image since I was 12 years old and never thought I would have the privilege of owning an original copy of this book. So imagine my delight when Jeff brought me this book. He knows that I have been chasing books that are featured in the O'Brien Golden Age of comic books. And he had told me about 3-4 months ago now that he had acquired a copy of this, asked me if I was interested. I said, absolutely. He said he'd bring it. So we were able to work out a deal for it. As I mentioned, Victory Comics 1, published by Hillman. Hillman is an American company, even though the Conqueror here looks like he could almost be Canadian with this color scheme, but it is in fact an American company. And like I said, most famous for publication of Airboy, and probably The Heap. There are others as well from their publication house. This Nazi cover by Bill Everett. Of course, Bill Everett is the creator of Namor the Submariner from Marvel Comics #1. He is one of the all-time greats. He's also the creator of Namora, Marvel Boy, who was from the mid-50s, kind of from that Atomic Age period, but then revived in Marvel Comics during the Silver Age and lives on. He also co-created Daredevil with Stan Lee in what many of you have heard me talk about as, I think, certainly one of the greatest of the Marvel age in terms of the execution of that story and the art, the layout, the storytelling. All of the elements are there. You know everything you need to know about Matt Murdock and his entire crew in issue 1 of Daredevil. If you had to write a Daredevil story, if you were only given Daredevil 1, you know everything you need to know to write a good Daredevil story. So just beautifully executed. One of the greats of all time. As I mentioned, August cover with a May distribution, so pre-war, choking out Nazis. This book is, as I mentioned, an anthology. This is not on the CGC label, but it's literally the first appearance of The Conqueror, Bomber Burns, Sergeant Flag, Homicide Hank, Steel Shark, Spade of the Secret Service, Private Parker, and The Crusader. The opening story from the cover is 12 pages. It is The Crusader. It is not drawn by Everett, I don't believe. There are only 4 issues in this series. Here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think once again, Richard O'Brien curated the absolute best covers for his book. And so plate 35 was correctly picked as issue number 1 by Everett. I think it obviously has the most stunning of the covers here. Hats off to Philip. PKJ in the CGC registry. He is the only person to have a registered collection of all 4 issues, which I believe he completed possibly in 22. And he's had the registry top collection from 21 through last year. Again, congratulations, Philip. On the right are the CGC census universal for these books. 30 copies of number 1, as I mentioned, 24 of number 2, 21 of number 3, 11 of number 4. So if you want to go chase Philip, good luck.
Not me, different Philip.
Well, your copy that you picked up is I can't wait to see you start making more content. There,
That's
Dr.
great.
Paul, because
Good
we haven't
segue.
seen any content from Dr. Paul in I don't know how long.
It's been a while.
So I look forward to see you working on this for all of us.
Here it is, front and back.
Awesome.
To your point, I think I'd like to keep it universal. So it's probably going to be spine roll correction, gentle cleaning, and a press, and off to CGC for this to be entombed so I can start my own registry collection of Victory comics and maybe one day topple Philip in a friendly rivalry. Obviously, no offense taken to a great collector who's put together the only registry full run of Victory comics. I don't know if I can. Yes, Bill Everett, Amazing Man, and the Centaur as well. I don't know if I can really convey to people. Those of you that were there know how thrilled I was to receive this book, and how important and how meaningful it was to me to chase those ultra rares from the O'Brien book is where my collecting is at right now, or at least one of the things that I'm really focused on. And I was just thrilled to grab this book there. And again, I think to talk about it in this way, I don't know where else you're going to see that book other than at Summit. I've been to a lot of comic cons. I've been to a lot of comic shops. I've never seen that book in person before I saw it at Summit last weekend.
Congrats. I mean, that
Congratulations on that.
It went to its right home when Jeff got that book.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
again,
for
thank you to Jeff Itkin, the Golden Age Guru. If you're not following him, you obviously should be, but appreciate it, Jeff. Right. I have him here. I guess I'll do this real quick. Boom.
Sweet. Look at that face. Look how happy that guy is. Hey.
All right. Who's next? Who wants to go next with pickups?
I said we continue with. Oh, Larry's already on this. He's either going to grab a bite of his food or books.
No,
but
no,
I'm imagining it's some books.
No,
to
no,
show
it's
off.
not. It's not that. I went to go find my pickups.
Oh, let's go to Shelby.
Go to Shelby.
Yeah, so I didn't get that much. Didn't have a whole lot to spend. I bought some things to work on, and same as Paul, I haven't dropped any content in a while, and I probably won't be dropping any content until I get moved and get set up in a new space to where I can actually do some conservation. But here's a book that needs no conservation. This is a beautiful copy of, and am I turned the right way? Did I
Yes.
flip my camera wrong? Okay.
Oh, we got it.
This is a beautiful copy of Master Comics number 61, and this is a Crowley copy, so you can see the stamp. So it's a pedigree book. I have probably about 4 different Crowley books. Pick them up. This is a 9.2 all day long. This thing is beautiful. It's flat. It's incredible. Yeah, it's really great. Cool. Captain Marvel Jr. and then he's punching somebody and they're off page, but if you look at the mirror, you can see the image of the person he's punching off this side, but then reflected in the mirror.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful layout and everything. It's just, yeah, really great book.
Shout out to Worldwide.
Worldwide to Sharon, my buddy. I don't know, her and I just seem to really get along. I love visiting with Sharon. Someone's telling Paul that I need to kind of pick something in the golden age. Right now, I just kind of pick things when I see them. I kind of collect some Captain Marvel, any kind of Wiz comics, Captain Marvel family, WoW comics, Master comics, things like that. But, I know I'm not ever going to complete those collections. I mean, they're just too difficult. I know that our buddy Jerry is close to completing a set of Wiz. That's not my goal. But I guess if there's one thing I am trying to work on is, these are so hard to find, is Mary Marvel. So this is a great book to work on.
Sweet book.
Big spine roll. Otherwise, it's got a little rip at the bottom. It's got a crease that comes across here, but definitely, again, and I'm like Paul on this one, I probably just try to go universal, just do some cleanup. I don't know. I probably will do a tear seal on some of these, and there's some spots I know that a wet clean will work on. But yeah, I just love picking up these Mary Marvels, and this was definitely a project book to pick up. Another project book is a Wiz Comics number 23.
Oh yeah, I love this.
Probably my earliest Wiz Comics that I have right now. So I'm trying to pick up Wiz Comics below number 30.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm working on. Again, a bit of a spine roll. And there's some tears along the staples. All that can be easily fixed. And Paul mentioned this earlier. What went into the idea of the things we picked up as project books? For me, it's things that are definitely within my wheelhouse. And I've talked about that before, right? I don't do leaf casting yet. And I say yet because I just haven't bought everything to really practice and stuff. So anything I purchase I'm staying away from things that need leaf casting. So anything beyond that, I can wet clean, take it apart, do tear seals. This has a lot of cover crinklage that I know will flatten out, and so it's just things that I know they're within my wheelhouse. There's a couple of foldovers that we can fix and things like that. So it's just those, it's really the types of defects I'm looking for that I know I can really make a big improvement on.
Absolutely.
And then these next two books is just, I've never owned any of these, and I'm not a huge DC guy, but there's no Golden Age Marvel. But I've always wanted some of these books. So this is my very first All Flash.
Oh,
Really nice cover.
very cool.
Again, a spine roll. Not much else wrong with this book. There are some tears. So there's a spine tear here on the cover that's easily mended. The bottom staple is detached. Otherwise, it just needs a little bit of a clean. And yeah, it's a cool cover. I love these, winter issue number 17.
Yep, excellent.
And then my last book, this was actually
That's the book that got Flash kicked off of the Justice Society. They actually mention it in the story. They say he's no longer part of the Justice Society because he has his own title now. Flash Comics was an anthology. He just had one short story in it.
Yes.
All Flash is obviously all Flash stories.
Yes. And this book I saw, and this was actually in and I'd have to look up in our book, the ladies collection that was sold. This was one of those books that was in that collection. Not this copy, but this was one of those that you and I actually talked about.
The Christine Farrell
collection. Thank you. Yeah. And again, this is some damage that's in my wheelhouse. So this is a beautiful copy of Comics number 86. It's got tear throughout the entire book. So this tear right here goes through all the pages and the front and back cover. Mm-hmm. Again, something that's easily mended. There's some foldovers. All these are foldovers that can be put back in place and laid with some methyl cellulose.
Simon and Kirby cover here, and obviously first story in the anthology. Yeah. The Sandman story is a Simon Kirby collaboration, and it's got Starman and others, I'm sure.
Exactly. The only thing that would make this better is if it was a Starman or a Sandman cover. But
I think from this era, the Sandman covers are the most desirable because they're the love for Sandman and Kirby.
The price of those are higher.
Yeah.
So, again, and y'all can see the prices I paid for these. I got a little bit of a discount. Not much. These all came from Buzzard Comics, and he cut a little bit of a deal, but not a lot. He just didn't have the margins, but again, things that I can work on, they're within my wheelhouse. I feel confident in doing. These more expensive books, I'm not going to be practicing. I kept saying the same thing, Blizzard, but this is Buzzard.
It's Buzzard Brothers.
Thank you.
They were they're mainstays there at Summit. I saw them also at Heroes Con out in North Carolina in Charlotte in June. So I don't know how many other shows they do, but I know they do those too.
Yeah. They're up in Tennessee. They don't do very many shows at all.
Great books, great collection. Yeah, they brought some amazing material. They definitely they brought. Did they bring the largest after Worldwide? I think they had the largest collection of raw books there.
Probably, I would say so. Worldwide and them probably had the largest collection there. And of amazing books. I mean, some of the stuff that Sharon had on the back wall, I know that all three of us at one point, was like, hey, just asking Sharon to show.
Worldwide is, of course, Sharon and Steve Ritter. They're in San Antonio. They don't have a brick and mortar there. but they do cons all around. Steve used to be in business with Matt Nelson. They've bought up a lot of pedigree books. They have literally raw pedigree books laying around that not even slabbed. I bought from them at Heroes Con the Mile High copy of Leading Comics #2, and I had it slabbed while I waited, which was amazing there. So great folks, great. Purdue family, by the way. They're always asking me how my daughter's doing.
Some Boilermakers. But yeah. So
great job,
books.
Shelby.
Yeah, only 5 books, but some great stuff to work on that, are areas I feel really comfortable in. As I move into leaf casting, of course, I'm not going to be spending, and all this is about $1,200, which wasn't bad. I had a little bit more in my budget, but I came home with some money in my pocket, so I'm fine with that. And stuff. So yeah, just really happy and really great. Richard and I are working on a deal so I know I didn't buy anything from Richard, but him and I are working on a deal on a couple of things that he has outside of the show because he's right down the road for me. The one we didn't mention was, of course, Lone Star Comics or My Comic Shop. They was set up there. I'm saying this in the nicest way possible is.
Should we cut to Larry?
I got it.
We're an hour and we got 2 more. We don't
30 seconds is someone asked earlier about price and stuff like that. These books are pricey. Okay. There's no doubt about it. You're not going to find dollar books or things like that. You are paying up a little bit on these books because people know you just don't see them. So even bad copies, and I saw some bad copies of some things there, people were still wanting some crazy numbers on. And I'm not mentioning those people, right? Hey, Buzzard was some great people to work with. Richard's great people to work with. Sharon and Steve are great people to work with. And yeah. So,
okay, let's keep it positive.
Yeah.
Be positive. I'm just saying that's another thing you need to learn too when you're going to cons is meeting people and things like that. So that's it. Go ahead,
Larry.
Well, I was having a little bit of a panic attack because I couldn't find what I was looking for.
Oh,
but I was just because I just came back from a show and I had stuff.
Yeah, you've been.
It turns out I left an entire box of books in another room, so these books never made it in. But let me show you my pickups from the show.
Awesome.
So I started off. I was just stumbling out, and again, we're going to talk about Buzzard Brothers. So I got this. Let me flip this over to the camera like that. So this is a Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's got Steranko's autograph on it. And one thing Steranko's known for is he signs books to people, which I didn't know. So he'd do a show. He'll say to Paul, and put his signature. This is one of the few books that does not have that. So I picked this one up. I got a fairly good deal on that, so I was very happy to get that. So there's another book
by the way, beautiful book. Another great
pickup.
You guys
did
great jobs.
Yeah, Paul actually talked me into this next book. So you got Bondage. You've got Green Werewolf injecting himself. You've got a skull on the cover. I mean, it's kind of hard to go wrong with
this
that.
Is why I said, well, how is this not in your basket, Larry?
I know. I looked at that and I go,
love.
yeah, and I got it was like $50, and he actually sold it to me for $25.
Yeah.
So I could. That was a great deal.
That's what I think. What I said was, if you're not buying it, I am.
I think that, and you basically forced my hand, is what you did. So then I was working on EC books, and this is one I've been kind of hunting for a while.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a weird fantasy. It's the robot cover, and this one is really hard to find. And I know why Dr. Paul's giggling.
I know it's me.
We're all giggling. We saw
Sorry.
we saw
Yeah.
something we didn't actually notice.
We saw
But
something that we can't unsee in the
you
Exactly.
can't unsee it. Let's put it that way. But with this brown cover, it's really hard. But this is going to be a simple, clean, and press. This one's it's a beautiful condition. Let's see, and I have a Flash Comics that I picked up.
Oh, I love that.
I don't
love
think
the
I should.
wings.
I didn't
Sweet.
think I showed this one to you guys. I'm trying to get the right. There we go.
I didn't see that one. No.
Yeah. So
I remember
one is-
seeing this
couple-
in the bin.
There's a
Yeah.
couple of those Hawkman covers that really are just so. It's such a work of art. The wings themselves.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the Hawkman on the cover of the Flash, I gotta get that one.
Is this
Okay,
your
first
first Golden Age DC, Larry?
no, I did that Flash Comics.
Oh, yeah, you have
the one-
Action 52.
yeah, the one with the spine that was just destroyed.
Yeah,
It had like
yeah.
26 pieces. Okay, so slab stuff. So I picked this one up. I was actually looking for an Air Fighters number 1, or actually number 2, First Valkyrie, but I found this number 1.
Hmm.
And this was actually a heritage pickup. I didn't buy it there at the show, but I picked it up there. You guys saw it.
Mhm.
So it's in a magazine size holder. That's because it's got a spine roll to it.
Yeah, that's also a Hillman publication. So
It is a Hillman.
Same publisher as Victory Comics number 1.
So you look right here, you see a pretty horrible water stain.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I sat and looked at this book with Matt Nelson, and he told me, get rid of the water stain, straighten the spine out, put in a regular holder. We're looking at a pretty significant grade bump. So I look forward to working on this. I will make a feature on this one.
That'll be awesome.
And the big boy books that you guys were talking about, they did pick up. So got an Avengers number 1.
Mhm.
Oh
Heck yeah.
yeah.
So these were pickups in person, but you had won them at auction earlier because you were
That's correct.
looking for some projects, some
Yeah, I was looking at this.
conservation projects.
Yeah, I was looking at a project, then I got this one too.
Why not? Why not?
So now I got 2 of them. So I was looking at giving a grade bump to the 3.5, and we looked at it, and it's still going to be 3.5 after we cleaned it up. This one, unfortunately, has color touch, and it goes through the front of the book. We all looked at this together in person, Paul, Phil, and I,
Yep.
Matt Nelson as well. And unfortunately, to get the color touch out, we have to excise it, which means cut it out. So this thing would look like ribbons, and it would really diminish the thing. So I'm going to leave it as is. That's it. So
Yeah.
those are my big boy books. So yeah, these are
And I
pretty
have first dibs if he ever decides to sell one of those.
everything is for sale, Shelby.
Everything.
I know.
I prefer cash. PayPal works.
Captain.
I tried inviting you to my room.
Is the
That scared me.
poster is the poster handy?
It is. If you give me 1
Okay,
second.
why don't we go to Phil and then you'll be off camera.
I'll
and
go
you
get
can,
the
you can find the Phil, center stage, brother.
Hey, zing, bazing. All right, what's Phil got? Well, I didn't pick up any books myself. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I looked at it for the first time. I seriously pulled some books out to actually look and buy, including. I knew I wouldn't buy them, but I want to get familiarized with getting a copy of Detective 33 because, in all
Mhm.
likelihood, I'll probably get the most affordable, nicest lower grade copy in the next 5 years that comes up to auction that I can finance. So so that's that. It was nice to pull a couple of copies of that, and I'll just show a few. I came back with some work. I can't show everything, but the first thing I'll show, and this was just a fun little thing. If you had one of the golden tickets, everyone got one of these toys that was completely random. So it's like a kid at Christmas. You open your bag. Oh, what toy did I get?
Right.
And
Or you're
You know-
Charlie Brown and you say, I got rocks.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, that this was not what I expected at all. And that said, now that I have it on my wall with some of my other stuff, it's really grown on me. And it's the Praying Mantis Man from Blue Beetle, I think
So
issue
cool.
3 from 1965.
So for those of you
And-
that don't know, these are custom action figures. There's a
Yeah, they're one of a kind.
There's a
It says-
gentleman who creates them and makes them to look like they were production, but they are not. And then, as Phil stated, the 50 golden ticket holders each get one of these when you attend Summit.
Yeah, it says adult collectible, not a toy, right up there, and the guy's kind of glued in. I mean, it's not meant to be open and taken out, but it is just kind of a fun side thing. And you know, getting an action figure of this guy, and you know, if you don't know, praying mantises are formidable hunters with excellent vision. Guy's so badass. I was like, what a badass, cool toy. So,
I think I got the coolest one though.
oh, Larry did get
Larry.
quite a fun one. I'll let him show that if he wants to and has it handy. And then just a few quick things. This is you know what, I'll show the books first. I'll leave this for after, but just a few. Again, I can't share everything, but these are just a few cool ones from clients for work. So this is a Weird Comics number 3.
Oh,
that's
wow.
good.
That has a spine roll. It was in a magazine size holder, so we're gonna
difficult.
take that spine roll out, make this look pretty, and get it into one of the regular size holders.
So
And then you know, we're on a DC tear, so how's this this All American Comics 25? It needs a little bit of restoration removed,
That's a
so it
nice
can
one.
go into a universal holder.
pre-Doiby.
Hey,
The only way I like my All-American comics. Pre-Doiby.
cool book there. And then I'll end with this last thing, which is kind of a cool thing. We've shown a few pieces of art on the channel, and this is a surprise. I had no idea I'd be coming back with this to do some work on. This is the original cover art to Beyond number 22 that was published in September 1953, and this is pre-code horror.
Oh,
With the
wow.
black cat, a guy turning into a cat. Kind of a cool piece. So I'm gonna have to take it
Amazing.
off this foam core that it's been mounted to, and
Mhm.
mounted to a larger board, and recreate the title
Mhm.
stat that's missing here, and make it look all pretty. And what a cool piece!
Put the
It's a
trade
cool
dress
piece
on
to-
it, make it look like the art
Give
from the full cover. Wow.
Give it its context back. So
That's amazing.
a book that I would buy the published book anyway. So to get to see the art for something like this is pretty cool. To get to work on it is just a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
So
Aubrey's mentioning that you have one of his bigger books at the moment.
oh, indeed.
Oh,
Oh.
you know what? I goofed. Sorry. I tried to exit solo for you, and I erased you. Sorry about that.
Hey, let's go. Let's make Larry. Look at that. Hubba.
You know what I'm saying, you guys? He just nailed it. I was so disappointed.
Awesome.
I was so bummed that
Oh, yeah, the fact that Boris was
we didn't
not
get to see
there.
this signed there. But
Oh, yeah.
you know, I think it'll work out in the end. We'll get another
Well,
opportunity.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to one of the poster restoration places to put it on a linen backing,
Mhm.
and just have them take out all the the folds, of course,
Mhm.
and just go ahead and mount this
It
thing. And
deserves it. Yeah.
yeah, and should I ever have an opportunity to see Boris, then at least I'll have it handy and I can roll it up and
Yeah.
take it to him.
You did
I
a
really,
great job.
yeah, I was looking for something that Boris did, and I can't beat this. I mean, really.
No. For what I was working on for his design,
Oh, by the
I-
way,
I had
I got a cooler one than Phil
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, it's pretty
Good.
slick.
Bucky. I think Bucky was the best one I saw all weekend. I ordered from somebody a copy of Ozzy Osbourne Ultimate Sin, the LP, the 12-inch, which Boris painted the cover of, and I was going to have him sign. I thought that would be a nice thing for the wall. Unfortunately, it did not show up in time, despite my eBay seller assuring me it would. So I was sad, but then it didn't matter because Boris wasn't there. So I was a little bit less sad. Anyway, we've gone an hour and a half, and I had a great time. I really enjoyed myself last weekend. Like I said, especially for me, getting to introduce some of my old friends to some of my old friends that didn't know one another and have them become friends was really gratifying. And I had just a great time, as I always have. It's great to have Shelby there as first time, and Bill first time, Unbothered Kitty for the first time, and Keston of Keston's Old School Comics for the first time, and to have just some cross pollination within our hobby. And then of course all the folks we have grown to look forward to seeing every year that were there again. And again, a special shout out to Jeff for hitting me up with Victory Comics #1. Aubrey says he'll be there next year. That will be amazing.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, come on, Aubrey.
We're gonna try to grow it every year, and like I said, it's permanently on my calendar now. So
Yeah, me too.
you guys want to say any other sort of parting thoughts, and we'll wrap up the show for the night?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, I have a lot to be thankful for. We're gonna do a show.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about what we're thankful for, because it's that time of year. Why don't we just use that as a segue?
All right.
That I had an opportunity to see all of y'all last weekend. I'm so thankful for the chat. So thankful for our sponsors tonight. Once again, they are Salesboy Comics, Archivist Adrift, Don Carter, Gorilla Monkey 3K, and Collecting Chaos rather. Next month, we have a murderer's row of sponsors. We have the aforementioned AG, Aubrey, Salesboy Comics, Collecting Chaos, Don Carter, Vulu, and You Pluck My Last Nerve. Thank you all so much for your generosity. Thank you all for joining us. I had a great time. I hope you did too. And until next time, take care of one another.
All right. See you later, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in.